Hey guys, so for today's video, I woke up at 5 a.m. to study Korean, and here is how that went. I also wanted to quickly mention that this video was filmed all the way back in February. Don't ask me why it took so long. I can't even provide an explanation. I'm so sorry it's been taking me so long to get this video up. But, anyways, without further ado, let's just continue with the video. I wanted to film an intro for this video because I will be popping in and out throughout this video just to sort of explain how I study Korean, because for the most part it's just me studying in this video, so I wanted to film an intro so that I can add commentary parts throughout the video. And I also wanted to announce properly that I will be going to Korea in May. So for obvious reasons, I will not be going to Korea in May anymore because Miss Rona really did her magic on the world. But regardless, I hope you guys still enjoy this video, even though I can't go to Korea anymore, so. Yeah, without further ado, let's get started. I don't know why I decided to do this. Okay, side note, despite what it might look like, I did in fact brush my teeth. That's literally how I tried to wake myself up. Yet there is still something in my teeth. I have no idea how it's there. It'll go away soon, I promise. I am so sorry that you have to look at that. Yeah, anyways. I'm so tired right now. I think I'm gonna do a, more elaborate intro because I'm way too disoriented to explain what I'm doing. I am going to be studying Korean, as one does at 5 a.m. Yeah. So throughout this video, you'll see me taking notes a lot of the time, and I'm basing my notes off of Talk to Me in Korean, which is the main resource that I use. It's a website. I will have it linked in the description below if you need it. It's my #1 resource when studying Korean. I know that there are other websites like How to Study Korean. I find it easier to navigate how to study Korean, especially if you want a vocabulary list, because they have a vocabulary list at the beginning of all the lesson notes in their PDF files. So if you want to get more vocabulary, I use that as my resource, but sometimes I find it quite difficult to just look off of a vocabulary list and copy it down. If anything, I like to study more based on context, so YouTube is my main resource when it comes to finding vocabulary, just because I find it more casual, and the videos are much shorter compared to a long Korean drama episode if you don't have time for that. I feel like when I'm watching a drama, I feel like I'm wasting more time than if I were to watch a YouTube video, even though I spend an excessive amount of time on YouTube regardless, but that's besides the point. I also have a Talk to Me in Korean textbook. This is level 2. I don't know what level I'm at because I've taken the placement test before and I've gotten level 6. To be honest, this textbook is not completely necessary. I like using it because it has workbook problems at the end of every lesson, and that's how I sort of review each lesson before moving on. So if you're down with that, I'd rather suggest you get the workbook instead of the textbook, because the textbook is essentially what they already have on their website. They have the PDF lesson notes on every lesson, or if you're just more of a textbook type of person, this book kind of works as well. As for the YouTubers that I like watching, I will have the YouTubers that I mainly watch linked in the description below. They have both Korean and English subtitles, so it's really helpful to just pause and write both sentences down. I find when there's both English and Korean subtitles, I learn a lot more. And if you don't know what level you're at, Talk to Me in Korean has a placement exam test thing where if you scroll to the bottom of their webpage, they have a little link that says test your Korean, and basically you could just test what level you're at. Also, when you are learning Korean, please learn the alphabet, because I tried to learn Korean off of Google Translate. Mind you, I had no idea how to learn a language back when I was in 4th grade. I had this crazy goal to just learn Korean, and I just tried to learn it off of Google Translate, which is so stupid. There are so many better resources out there. I use Naver Dictionary for Korean to English translations. They give you examples, and they also have quotes from different V-Lives. So if you're into K-pop, they have quotes from different groups who might have said that word in a V-Live because they're all subbed and connected with Naver. You can also use it in context with like your favorite K-pop idols or something like that. If you're into K-pop, variety shows or reality shows are really helpful. I used to be obsessed with Blackpink House back when I was first learning Korean. They have a lot of text on the screen, and they also use Konglish a lot. Blackpink uses Konglish quite frequently because they all kind of use English a little bit whenever they're speaking to each other. And also when you're just introduced to a word and you have the English context to help you understand that foreign word, the more it's incorporated into your vernacular, you're more compelled to use it. So like, for example, if you're into NCT, they have Johnny's Communication Center where Johnny and Mark mainly use Konglish with each other, which I understand because the context is given through the use of English, whereas if you're immersing yourself completely in Korean, then you're not going to understand everything completely. So that's why English subtitles are good, because they do provide you context. If you hear a certain word and see a certain word in your language in the subtitles, then your brain will make that connection. I personally have learned a lot of words through English subtitles, so yeah. If you're into BTS, there's Run BTS, obviously. I watch that as well a lot. They have a lot of pop-up text on the screen because Korean editing is wildin'. I know TXT has a reality show. My friend watches it all the time. I just finished watching ITZY's reality show of when they were in Paris. Also, journaling is a really great resource. You guys see that I journal all the time, but if you're journaling in Korean, not only are you forming sentences in your head, you're also exposed to the words that you know you will use frequently. I also suggest reading out loud. Reading out loud is so important because if you're just reading it in your head, you are not practicing how you will say it with your mouth. I also wanted to relate this to when I learned English growing up as a kid. I remember I would have reading comprehension tests where my teacher would sit me down and she would time me reading it by myself in my head versus reading it out loud, and that is how I got my practice for my reading speed and how I spoke. I currently relate that to how I learn languages now. It's just a matter of having patience and consistency because you don't necessarily have the same discipline that your school used to give you back in elementary school. Because when you're growing up in elementary school, you're obviously not only learning things in school, but you're also interacting with kids at your school. You know, you're able to pick up slang words and interact with real people and have actual conversations instead of just strictly focusing on the curriculum that you're learning in school. And so whenever I think about how I should be learning Korean, I always refer back to when I used to learn English as a kid because it's my first language. So those are my main resources. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. Okay, I woke up at 5:30 because I don't know, I wasn't really tired. It was like I woke up and I felt like I couldn't leave my bed because it was so early. I slept in for 30 minutes, but I didn't really sleep in. I was kind of just laying there in bed because I like being in the comfort of my bed at an early hour. Today, I am just gonna review my last lesson. Yeah, so let's get started. I've been studying Korean for a while. I just never make enough time for me to actually progress. There are a lot of grammar rules that I actually don't know, but I can understand when I read it. I think my reading is much better than my speaking and my writing, just because it's more difficult for me to actually form elaborate sentences on the spot, and also when I'm writing, because I'm actually comparing this to studying Spanish, and Spanish is much easier for me to comprehend because the grammar structure is so similar to English. And also when I'm writing sentences in Spanish, it's much easier for me to write because I think in the same order that Spanish words are supposed to be put on paper. So in this update, I said that it was hard to think in the order that Korean is spoken, and I actually read up an article talking all about this, and I will have it linked in the description below. It's really insightful and it breaks down the grammar structure of English versus the grammar structure of Korean, and it made me realize how insanely complex the English language is compared to Korean. I feel like Korean is a very efficient language, but also is very different compared to English. So they have a whole breakdown on the order and the structure of subject, verb, object, which is found mostly in English, and subject, object, and verb, which is found in Korean. So if you want to read up on that, I will have it linked down below if you want to give that a read. Yeah. But I just finished the lesson that I'm currently on. It is 6:20 right now, and I think I'm just gonna spend the rest of this time making breakfast and studying for the SAT because I need to catch up on that. Yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'm so tired. I slept a little bit later, like maybe 10:20-ish. I'm really tired and disoriented, so that's really great. The topics that Okay, let's get started. So for day 3, I focused a lot more on reading, and the book that I'm currently using actually has short stories, and then on the pages to follow, it gives a breakdown of the translations and a whole vocabulary list of every word in the short story, which I think is really great. And then after, I wrote down all the vocabulary words, which you don't see in this clip, but that is what I did, and that was pretty much all I did for day 3. So for day 4, I just really didn't feel like talking. I literally looked so dead inside. I was just so tired at this point. Yeah, but anyways, basically what I did for day 4 is watch a YouTube video and translate some of the sentences. For this, I was watching a YouTuber that put both English and Korean subtitles at the same time so that I can look at both sentences and copy the sentence and the translation. And then later on, I took lesson notes geared specifically to some of the things that I didn't understand in the sentences that were being translated. And so for day 4, that is pretty much all that I did. I don't know why this entire video is such a mess. Basically what happened is I have no idea where the footage went for day 5. I wish I could tell you. Apparently it's gone, and it has been too long since filming this video that I can recount any of what happened that day. So I guess it's just gonna be a mystery at this point, but I think this video is long enough. So I'm just gonna lead you into my outro. I'm so sorry. I was busy for a couple of the days throughout the week, so this challenge is only 5 days long, and I'm really sorry about that, but I hope you guys learned something as opposed to not learn. You know what? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. So at the time that I was filming this, comment of the week wasn't a thing, so I'm just gonna come in and say, here's the comment of the week. Thank you so much for commenting. That's really fantastic. I really appreciate when you guys comment on my videos. Anyways, continuing on with the outro. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.